I left the city, I've been browsing. Treading water that they drowning. I head on the swivel, yeah. It's only really my surroundings. They keep it all the way 1,000.
Hey everybody, it's Zach, aka Zach's Reviews. We are back again with another video. And guys, we are back again with another iCarly 2020 review. This will be episode 8. I know I'm a little late on this. You know, the last video I did was episode 7 of iCarly 2020. That was the last review I did like a couple of weeks ago. The crazy thing is that I missed 2 episodes. I missed episode 8 and I missed episode 9. So that's why I'm catching up right now. This, as we know, episode 8, called iLove, Gwen, it wasn't the last Thursday. It was the Thursday before last Thursday. So I'm actually catching up as we right now as we speak. So I just want to get episode 8 review out for you guys. I've just been doing a lot of stuff. You know, a lot of new things have been coming out. I've been getting a lot of things ready for future projects starting next week with the whole streaming setup that I've been putting together for the premiere of What If, which will be next next Tuesday at 1 a.m. I will be starting, 1 a.m. Eastern time. I will be starting on Tuesday for, the premiere of What If. And then, of course, for the premiere of Stargirl, that will be again, Tuesday of next week, at 7 p.m. Eastern time for Stargirl. I will be I want to live stream on YouTube. So I'm trying to get everything ready and set up, getting all, the Streamlabs stuff set up to start streaming for you guys. So I've just been busy trying to, put together a lot of things of upcoming projects and, but I'm just so happy I'm able to get to this review for you guys. But about today's about the episode of iCarly of episode 8 called I Love Gwen. I think that's called, that's what it's called. Yeah, it's called I Love Gwen. Yeah. So this is the episode where we finally get to meet Freddie's ex-wife. So, or one of Freddie's ex-wife, the most recent one that, of course, that had, Millicent, before, Freddie became Millicent's stepdad. So, it was just really cool to see, more of, of one of his wives. I'm hoping we get to see the other ones just as like a funny thing to see who his other wives are. But, when we meet Gwen, Carly pretends, to pretty much hate Gwen, but then we end up finding out that she ends up liking Gwen. So when Gwen comes, we see at the beginning of this episode, Freddie's laying on, on the couch in, Spencer's apartment. They're all together. They're all doing virtual reality, going to space, and they're trying to, go to different planets, and you just see Freddie all bummed out, and that's weird to see Freddie like that, because we all know he's into stuff like that, like virtual reality, scientist stuff, like, any chance that he's like, and we're just like, why are you laying there when, it's not like that? But then we end up finding out that he's laying there because he's upset because, Millicent's gonna be, staying with, Gwen for a while, I guess, and I guess that he doesn't want to, like, he feels like, she's going to be leaving, he's very protective of her, and, he's like, oh, God, I'm going to be alone, blah, 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 because he loves his stepdaughter, Millicent. So, we really just see how he's down in the dumps about it, and, he's not, every time, Gwen comes popping around, he gets, a whole flood of emotions of him, getting a divorce, and all the good times they had together, and everything, and, one of the good times that we end up finding out of, the biggest special things is pretty much how I guess Gwen used to make, her famous recipe of empanadas, and he's like, I love those. He's like, I would do anything to get those back. And then, Millicent hears that, he thinks, like, she thinks that, oh my God, my dad, wants to get back together with my mom. Like, she just feels like, because he's saying, oh, because she's caught the moments of not the empanadas, but caught, like, I would do anything, to get that back. And, and they think that, she thinks that Freddie is talking to Harper and Spencer about him wanting to get back together with, Gwen, but that's actually not the case. He just wants to get the empanada, get the empanadas back, but I guess he said it's complicated because she says that's just, it's too complicated. And all that, Millicent caught that. So, like, she doesn't know that he was talking about empanadas. She thinks, Freddie was talking about getting back together with, her mom. So, she already has the idea, like, oh my God, I'm going to get them back together. And, of course, Carly ends up, she's pretending to hate Gwen for Freddie's sake. She pretty much is like, oh my God, I've been having to pretend that I hate you just for the sake of Freddie because I know how in the dumps he gets, about, how you guys got a divorce. And, she's trying to take Freddie's side because, her and Freddie have been friends for years. But secretly she loves Gwen, and they've hung out secretly behind Freddie's back, and they're secretly, like, best friends. And she right now, I guess, Gwen has nowhere to stay, so pretty much, Freddie says, "Oh, you could stay at, at my place, aka, his mom's place." And and he's like, "Oh yeah, you could stay there." And we have an air mattress. And she's like, "Oh, he's like, I guess that I'll be sleeping on," meaning that Gwen looked down. I'm like, I'm not sleeping on the air mattress, dude. You're sleeping on the air mattress. He's like, "Oh, guess I'm sleeping on the air mattress." So pretty much, and Carly's like, "Oh, I'll go help you with your bags or whatever," like trying to like whatever. But of course they're like best friends, as we see in the hallway. And she's talking about, like, I guess she's talking about getting a shower, because she's been she works, and I guess at the I guess with the turtles at the, like, I guess she's like a person at work, like she works at, like, I want to say not an aquarium, but she works with ocean creatures and stuff like that. So, and sea creatures and things. So she works in that department, and I guess she helped with a turtle birth. And apparently Millicent said, "You stink, you gotta go take a shower." And she's like, "Oh, I don't have running water at my place I'm staying at right now." And that's why Freddy's like, "Oh, you could stay at our place," you know what I mean? And they go over, she goes to take a shower, she drops a necklace. And pretty much, Carly ends up finding it, and that's when she kind of like, she has the idea that, oh my god, she misses Freddy. But when she picks up the necklace, and inside the necklace, she thinks it's Millicent's, she thinks it's Millicent's, necklace of, Millicent as a baby in the necklace. But it turns out it doesn't have Millicent when she was a baby in the necklace. It has Freddy and, Gwen in the necklace. So she's like, oh my god, why would she have this on her neck? They've been divorced for how long? Does she have feelings for Freddy again? Is that why, she wanted to come back as well? But the real big idea of why she's back is to come to Millicent's play of Romeo and Juliet. I guess she got the the lead part of Juliet, so that's why she's there, to catch her in her first lead role on at her school play. So that's why she ended up showing up. But also, what's funny is, like, the main funny moments, well, of course, Carly thinks, oh my god, she still has feelings for Freddy. And, Millicent thinks, oh my god, my dad still has feelings for my mom. And they end up trying to get them together, because, like, she ends up coming over saying, oh, what do you know? Or whatever. And she's like, oh, what do you know? And she's like, oh my god, like, you're hiding something. And then she ends up finding the necklace and say, oh my god, it is true, I did catch it. And Carly's like, what do you mean? I overheard my dad talking about my mom saying, how much he misses her, and blah, 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 blah. So they end up trying to scheme, because Millicent pulls her into scheme to get them together. So they're doing that while, Millicent beforehand she roped in Spencer and, of course, Harper, because Harper, I guess, the lead person that makes the costumes in the school quit. So she ends up roping in Harper, saying, oh, you know fashion, you're good at fashion. Why not, a good, like, a fashion person as yourself knows good fashion when you see it clearly. So why don't you come help? And she's like, oh, okay. And she's like, oh, did you just manipulate me into doing it or whatever? I can't say no to that, because you said I was good at fashion. And then, she goes to Spencer, like, oh, you know what? The person that, was supposed to make the sets dropped out too. And he's like, oh my god, that's the most important, part of a play. And she's like, I know, right? A person that made this awesome apartment look like, this artsy apartment should know that's the most important part. He's like, oh my god. He's like, oh my god, you manipulated me, but that's such a great compliment. Okay. And then she's like, oh, there's a prize for best, there's a prize for whoever does the best. And of course, as we all know, Spencer and Harper have like a big rivalry of who's better. Then like they have a big I'm better than you, you're better than you. I mean, like they have a big rivalry on who's the best. So she so Millicent knew going into this that if they would fight, she knew right away they would fight to see who's better. And she wants to see she wants this to be really, really a really great play. So that's why she knew that they would go at each other as a competition to see who's better than each other. So she knew going into it that they would, that they would do a competition to see who's better. And that means she knew it was going to be a great set that they were going to build. They were going to do anything and everything to be better than one another. So of course we see a thing where Spencer says, oh my god, forget about me using marble and everything. I'm going to be using toast so I can move around the set easier. And I'm going to be doing everything. It's going to be so creative. And then Harper's like, oh my god, I just called a business I just called a business that's going out of business, and they're giving me all their fabrics and stuff, so it's going to be the greatest costumes ever. And then they're going at one another, they're trying to get one another's necks of who's better. So that was just funny. And then there's the funniest moment of this though is when the toast is falling apart of the set. So, before the curtains open, we just see Spencer using peanut butter, trying to stick the toast to the wall. And he's like, and he crawls off once he gets stuck back on, and then he gets to crawl back out. But actually, he doesn't crawl back out. What happens is he's like on like a skateboard and a rope, and he gets like pushed out, and you just see him painting, and like as another piece of toast falls when Millicent's giving her like her Juliet like like her lines for Juliet. And another piece falls. He slides back out. He paints peanut butter, sticks it back on the wall, and then he gets like pulled back. And it's just the play is not going as planned. He's doing that. The set's falling apart. He's trying to paint it with peanut butter. He's just trying to do anything and everything to make sure the set stays and does not crumble. And Harper's making jokes saying, "Oh, of course, I knew your art was crusty and it was gonna crumble or whatever," making like toast jokes. And while that's going to shit, pretty much, we see Carly talking to Gwen and Freddie, saying, "Oh, I we were a part of this all along," because they're like, "Oh, we have big news to tell Millicent." And they're like, "Oh," she's like, "Oh, I was a big part of it. I knew all along that you guys were gonna make it, make it back together." And they're like, "What are you talking about?" And she's like, "What are you talking about?" And they're like, "Oh, we were talking about how like Gwen has a new boyfriend. We're gonna tell Millicent that Gwen has a new boyfriend and stuff, and things are okay, and that I'm okay, and everything is fine." And then she's like, "Oh my god." Because, Millicent has a speech pretty much saying, you did one thing that Romeo and Juliet couldn't do. You guys came back together. She was going to give that speech, on stage. And so Carly tries to go up there and say, "Don't give that speech. They're not getting back together." It was just, you overheard something. He was talking about, empanadas and stuff like that. And she's and they were going to give you that necklace to say that they were always going to be there for you. So, like, no, you were wrong. I was wrong. Like, don't say that speech. So she very much pulls off the guy that's playing Romeo, puts the hat on and says, "Oh, I'm from the future. And, I don't want you to say that speech because we were wrong. Your parents aren't getting back together." And she's like, and they're all like, "Oh no!" Right away when Carly got on the stage, like, "Oh crap!" It's all going to crap. And the top of the loft, Spencer comes diving through his toast castle and pretty much just ruins it. And he's still trying to paint it with peanut butter, trying to put it together, but it just doesn't work out. And pretty much that's pretty much how it like initially ends on the stage. And we see everybody they get called back to the principal's office. Spencer and Harper, they get called back to the principal's office, but they get called back to get their prizes, which is just ribbons, and apparently they're in charge of the what is it, the friend, I guess it's like the what is it, like friends and family faculty committee. They get they're like in charge of it, and they're like, that doesn't make any sense because you don't have you don't have any students that go here. You don't have any kids, and you don't go to the school. So how is that? And they're just jumping up and down and saying, "Oh, we got something. We're the leaders of everything going forward in the school. We're in charge of all the events that happen and everything." I think they're part of the event planning committee or whatever. I don't even know what it was called exactly, but they're happy about that. They got their blue ribbons, and they're just happy about all this, and they're just they're like Freddie and Carly are they're just participation I guess what do you call participation badges, pretty much. It's ribbons. They don't mean anything, but of course they're happy about it. And of course Carly gets sent back while Freddie is and Gwen are talking to Millicent saying we're always going to be there for you. I'm happy your mom's moving on and everything is going to be good and fine. And, just to reassure her that, that they'll always be a family. They'll always be together. And, of course, Carly gets called back. She's like, "Oh, am I going to get a participation badge?" And she's like, no. The little girl's like, "No, you're going to the principal's office because you ruined our play." And then we just see everybody saying, "Ooh," and she's just walking back all whatever. "Oh, dang it, I'm in trouble." And it's just funny. And then it ends, pretty much. It was just a really great episode to see all that play out. Especially the whole dinner while they're, where Carly is recreating their first date, Gwen and Freddie's first date, and so is Millicent, and they're having a sleepover with Mrs. Benson to get Mrs. Benson out of the house so they can have their first dinner date, recreate their first, Gwen and Freddie's, first dinner date again. So seeing that whole sleepover where, Mrs. Benson makes a puzzle of Freddie and, removes his, I guess his, what do you call his his 5 o'clock shadow, and then she puts like, you know, smooth skin spots over that, which was very weird. But of course, Mrs. Benson's weird, and then she got a puzzle cut. A puzzle paper cut, and she's like, oh, thank God I brought my small, you know, first aid kit, and she brings like a whole big ass suitcase first aid kit, and it was just hilarious. It's just so Mrs. Benson. So I just really had a blast with this episode. It was very funny. But the funniest moment was Spencer with the peanut butter with the toast castle. That was so freaking funny. Seeing him like use that like skateboard thing to get pulled out, to like when another piece of toast fell and then get pulled back. It was just funny to me seeing those moments with Spencer. It's just so Spencer, seeing him come up with a toast castle to thinking that's a step up from his marble idea, but really it's not. But it's so Spencer, he would definitely think that was a step up from his last idea. It's just so Spencer. I love it. By the way, the clothing design that they have for the entire cast is so good, especially for Carly. Her clothes, like the way they dressed Carly in the show, you know, Miranda Cosgrove is just, she's just so gorgeous, and the way they dress her is just phenomenal and stuff. So, you know, and just the way they dress everybody with, you know, Harper's outgoing outfits, you know, it really shows who she is. And like, you know, and the way, you know, they dress Freddy, like it's more mature look, but it's also still Freddy though. I really appreciate that. You know, the clothing design's on point, the cinematography's great. And I just love that they're not shying away when they promised us that this was going to feel a lot more grown up. And I'm just so happy I got to do this review for you guys for episode 8 of iCarly 2020, of iLove Gwen. You know, it was a really great episode. I'm really enjoying this season a lot. I don't know how many episodes we have left. I know I'm going to be watching episode 9 literally and then doing another review for you guys. So to, you know, of course, as a catch up, because I'm trying to catch up for tomorrow's episode of episode 10. So, and along with Suicide Squad, I'm going to do a review for that tomorrow. So, a lot of things are coming to the channel on top of my 2 live streams that are going to be next week. So, guys, there's big stuff coming to the channel. So, again, if you haven't, subscribe to the channel, put in those notifications, like this video, because there's big things happening on this channel, and I don't want you guys to miss it. I would love for you guys to join this family here on this channel. We are growing each and every day. We are literally at 355. We're almost to 400 subscribers, guys. So, again, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and like this video. I want you to know down in the comments below, what's your favorite episode so far of iCarly 2020? If anything, I think my favorite episode was by far is probably iRobot Wedding, which of course is, if everybody knows that has seen it, is Neville Papperman's wedding. So that was probably my favorite episode so far of this season. I can't wait to see. I think there's like I think if I'm correct, like 13 episodes in total, I think, or 12. I'm not quite sure. I think it's either 13 or 12. So, you know, we have a couple more episodes left, which I'm happy about. I already got renewed for a second season, which I'm not shocked. I knew it was going to get renewed for a second season. But without further ado, I'm going to end this video here. I hope everybody has a great day, a safe day. I hope I'll see you guys in episode 9. Peace.